on Horror Network.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Horror Wars. And we are on the Riffing on Horror Network. My name is Rob.
I'm Josh.
And today we've got episode 18. First off though, as last episode, I kind of want to give a number reveal here like we did at the beginning of the last episode. Last episode we had 2,500 or something like that?
Something like that.
Okay, so this episode it's 6,200 watches on YouTube and listens on podcast streaming things like Spotify. That's all combined.
Podcastness.
Yeah, so 6,000.
Nice.
Every episode it's going up. I like that.
Me too.
So with this episode, we're not as jovial and fast because Josh is now working at my job with me.
Yep.
So that's pretty dope.
Yes.
And also, this is the last episode that we're doing in this house.
Yep.
Because the next episode will be moved into our new place. And yeah. So there we go. This episode 18, is going to be Pulse versus Pulse for the war.
Doo-doo.
Yep, it is the Japanese original versus the American remake. For the Horror Club talk, we have White Noise. Mm-hmm. So this is also the first episode where I went on my legally provided drug-induced binge and did all the way up to episode 78.
Way too fucking many.
Way too fucking many.
I was like, Jesus, man, this is definitely next year.
This is some of it might even be 2024.
It could be.
So yeah, we've got a lot of episodes ready, but basically with this episode begins the pairing of them. Yeah. So Pulse's internet scary things and ghosts and contact through that. White Noise is EVP and internet scary things and contact through that.
The Y2K shit.
Yep. And also after this, we've only got one more Japanese versus American remake.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. You want me to tell them what it is? Or no. Okay. So then episode 19 is the last Japanese versus American remake for the time. And then episode 20 is going to be a big one. We're going to get big here. But now for this, like I said, White Noise, and then what else was there? Oh, we've got 4 or 5 questions this episode?
Something like that,
yeah. So, all right. We're going to get right into it. Yeah. And Josh is going to begin because he's got the original Pulse. Yep. And I made the letters bigger for him.
Because I'm blind.
And I also have another light on him.
Yes.
And he's got his glasses this week. So he can see with his glasses.
Indeed.
All right. Take it away, brother.
All right. The movie's name is Pulse. The release date was February 3rd, 2001. Runtime of an hour and 59 minutes. The budget, none found.
Yeah, I couldn't find any at all anywhere.
The box office, it made $318,451.
And that's probably why I couldn't find a budget.
Sheesh. So, none.
Right.
Production companies, Dai Films, NTV Network.
Not MTV.
Not
NTV.
NTV right. Network. Hakuhodo and Imagicha. Apologies.
Salud.
Produced by Shimizu, Senji Okuda, Ken Eom, that's how it's spelled, and Atsuki Shimoda. Screenplay was by Kiyoshi Kurosawa and directed by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. Cinematography by Junichiro Hayashi, edited by Junichi Kinkuchi, and music by Takafumi Hakata. Hakata.
And as if you noticed, music is now added because I figured we always talk about the soundtrack.
True.
Why not add music, because musical scores are very important.
Fair enough.
So,
where to watch? Currently, you're able to watch Pulse streaming with subscriptions on Hoopla, HBO Max, and AMC Plus. You can also watch this with ads on Vudu free. Finally, you can rent or purchase Pulse on Apple iTunes, Vudu, Amazon Video, and Microsoft Store digitally.
Wheedly.
The rating, 6.5 out of 10 for IMDb, 75% for Rotten Tomatoes, and 3.6 out of 5 for Letterboxd.
Wow.
Good or bad?
Oh, man, wait till you get to mine. Jesus.
Plot. A college student, Taguchi, commits suicide. A number of young adults living in Tokyo witness terrifying visions transferred across the internet. As more people disappear throughout the city, the internet becomes a breeding ground for malevolent spirits. Remember,
2001.
folks? Yeah, this is a time when the internet was super evil.
Yep.
The related media, it was adapted into a novel called Cairo, which is Kairo,
Which is Pulse.
which is Pulse.
Yep.
There are no more facts on IMDb, just 10.
Just the ones that you got. I think there's like 8. Yeah.
The Japanese title written in kanji means circuit. A large number of scenes were shot from windows. Makes sense. Number 3, another movie called Pulse was released in 1988 with a similar plot about evil electrical-powered entities, but it isn't connected to this film in any way.
Not one bit.
An Americanized remake starring Kristen Bell was released in 2006.
Hey.
It's like they knew.
Right.
The shot of a woman leaping off the side of a building is a relatively simple combination of careful editing, computer graphics, and stunt work. As director Kiyoshi Kurosawa explains it, a stunt woman was filmed bungee jumping off the rooftop, followed by a dummy dressed in the same clothes. The two shots are edited together and the bungee cord digitally erased.
Yep. And for 2001, that was very...
That's high tech.
That's high tech and time consuming.
This film references pop culture anime... What? This film references pop culture anime. Serial Experiments Lane?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, got me on that one. Number 7, Forbidden rooms are haunted spaces marked by red tape around their doors and windows. That must be why, like, there was, like, them big red filters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 8, while Kawashima is looking at the various people moping about in some catatonic state via webcam, there is one man who appears to be sleeping on his desk. He then wakes up, raises his head, and looks straight into the camera facing us. That man is Kurosawa Kiyoshi, writer and director of this film.
Yep.
That's cute.
Yep. Now, the cast for you, right?
Yeah, cast.
I always do this. I always
know.
jump the gun.
Kumiko Asao as Michi Kudo. Haruhiko Kato as Ryosuke Kawashima. Koyuki as Haruo Kurosawa. Kurume Arasaka as Junko Sasano. Wow. Masatoshi Matsu as Toshiyabe. Shinji Takeda, as Yoshikizaki. Jun Fubiki as Michi's mother. My favorite character. Shun Sugata as Boss.
Mm-hmm.
Koji Yakusho as Ship Captain. Sho Aikawa as Employee, second favorite character. And Kenji Mizuhashi as Taguchi. I'm so sorry for messing all those names up.
Facts. Okay. So I just marked off mine, for everything while I'm going to be talking. I'm sure Josh is going to mark off his. Mm-hmm. And for those that aren't familiar, we'll explain it when we get there. So, as per usual lately, I've got the shitty American remake.
Hey, you're more than free to take the OGs.
Movie's Pulse. Release date is August 11th, 2006. Runtime is 1 hour, 30 minutes. Budget was $20.5 million, and it made $30 million exactly.
Wow.
So it made $10 million more. Well, not even $9.5 million more back. Production company is Distant Horizon, produced by Anat Singh, Brian Cox, Michael Leahy, and Joel Syanson. Screenplay was by Wes Craven and Ray Wright. Wow. Wait until you hear this, though, when I get to the physics. Directed by Jim Sonzero. Cinematography by Mark Plummer. Edited by Bob Morey, Robert K. Lambert, and Kirk Morey. There was 3 editors on this fucking movie. Music by Ilya Cimarol. And where to watch. Currently, you're able to watch Pulse streaming with subscription on HBO Now, DirecTV, and Spectrum On Demand. Alternatively, you can watch for free with ads on Tubi TV, the Roku channel, YouTube free, Redbox, Pluto TV, and Vudu Free and IMDb TV's channel on Amazon Video. There's a lot of fucking places to watch this for free.
Good Lord.
Well, it's because it's that horrible. It is also possible to rent and purchase Pulse digitally on Apple iTunes, Google Play Movies, Amazon Video, Microsoft Store, YouTube, Redbox, and DirecTV Online. So, the ratings. 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb. 11% on Rotten Tomatoes. 2 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Destroyed. Plot. After her boyfriend commits suicide, a psychology student and her friends begin receiving unsettling emails and video messages. After a number of disappearances across campus, she teams up with a computer hacker to shut down the deadly force before it spreads to the rest of the world. Dun dun dun. Hackers. Related media. Pulse 2, Afterlife from 2008. And Pulse 3 from 2009. I really hate the fact that this movie had fucking sequels and the original one did not.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about a lot that I hate in this movie when we get to it. So, film facts. There's only 5 more on IMDb. Number 1. In 2003, Wes Craven signed on to write and direct the film. However, the project was pulled from the schedule by, I hate saying his name, but the rapist and grooming film producer Bob Weinstein before shooting.
Sheesh.
Subsequently, Craven's screenplay was rewritten. There's word salad right there. Wes Craven's screenplay was rewritten by Ray Wright for the film that was ultimately made by director Jim Sonzero. Woo! I did not realize that was going to be so hard to say when I put it there. Like, what the fuck? Number 2, the trailer features footage from the original Japanese film called Pulse. One shot in particular features the plane crashing. The shot was redone for the final film. Number 3, in the film Forgetting Sarah Marshall, 2008, also starring Kirsten Bell during the dinner scene, a movie very similar to plot in Pulse is talked about that Sarah was in. It is humorously referred to as a horrible movie with a ridiculous premise.
Yeah.
Number 4, this is the film Brian Draper and Tori Adamczyk claimed to have seen the night they murdered Cassie Jo Stoddard. For people that don't know, this is the quote-unquote Scream killing. So these two were inspired by Scream, where Drew Barrymore's character gets killed, and they tried to play it out the same way.
Yeah.
So this is the movie that they claim to have been watching the night that they did it. Number 5, the opening scene in the library was shot in 5 hours. Jesus. Number 6, in an interview with Fangoria magazine, director Jim Sonzero assured readers that the key scenes from the original movie, in particular the infamous tower jump suicide, would be retained. This scene is absent from the theatrical version, as it had to be cut to attain a PG-13 rating. However, the scene was restored in the unrated version. Number 7, originally scheduled to release on March 3rd, 2006, then pushed back to July 14th, it finally hit theaters on August 11th, 2006. Number 8, Kirsten Dunst was set to originally star in the film and was supposed to shoot before returning to the Spider-Man 2 set in 2004.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yep. This film was the directorial debut of Jim Sonzero, who he has done plenty of music videos and commercials and stuff like that, but this was his film debut, and he's only had like one other film since this. I wonder why. And number 10, in an interview with Fangoria magazine, Wes Craven disowned the film and said he hated it. His original screenplay was significantly altered by Ray Wright with various rewrites, and the final film barely resembled anything of his original vision. He ultimately claimed that he had no involvement in the final release.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Sheesh. Imagine hating what you made.
Imagine,
hating what you wanted made.
What you wanted made. Because it really upsets me because he was originally attached to direct and write. So what the fuck could he have actually made with this? If he says it resembled nothing compared to what he wrote and his vision, that upsets me. But I'm sure Wes, like, rest in power, had a lot of films that, you know, he wrote and was planning on directing, but, you know, got taken away or whatever. So the cast for this one, wait until you get to the last one because that's going to be your favorite character. Nice. Okay. Kristen Bell as Maddie, Ian Somerhalder as Dexter, Christina Milian as Isabella Fuentes, Rick Gonzalez as Stone, Jonathan Tucker as Josh, Sam Levine as Tim, Octavia Spencer as Landlady, Ron Rifkin as Dr. Watterson, Joseph Gatt as Dark Figure, Kel O'Neill as Douglas Ziegler, Zach Greiner as Professor Cardiff, Ricky Lindholm as Janelle, Robert Clotworthy as Calvin, Mr. Chucky himself, Brad Dourif as Thin Bookish Guy.
Oh, shit.
And the final one is Christine Barger as Goth Girl.
Yes.
Yes. So, I really thought that the remake of Pulse was beyond trash salad.
I thought it was okay. Just in small pieces.
I hate the fact that they literally turned it into techno-virus Terminator.
One of the best parts in that is the punching the ghost on top of the truck, just like punching through it. Mm-hmm. But then they make holes in the truck, like
right. Yeah, dude.
Are the ghosts or not, my brother?
This movie has so many plot holes and so many fucking idiotic moments. And like I said, the fact that they turned something, in my opinion, that was very well done in Japan, the 3 different stories that ultimately collided with each other, and it was about ghosts. Yeah. This one, like I said, it's ghosts, but they turned them into fucking techno Terminators.
The only thing that threw me off with the original was just like the 2 different groups.
Right.
Like story A, story B.
Right.
And then they're together at the end. But
right.
Remake wasn't good.
Remake was not good. So, for those that don't know, the title of the show is what it is. It's Horror Wars. Right. So now that we've described everything, we're going to put them against each other. And when we're done, we're going to give a final grade as to what ultimately we chose as the winner. I don't know Josh's choices. He doesn't know mine. And then after we're done, through that, we're going to kind of create an amalgamation of what our favorite version of the film would be. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to move on to the rest of the topics. So, for acting, I gave it to OG.
I gave to remake just because I like the cast a little more.
See, I like the cast, but I thought that their acting was horrible. I understand that they were...
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I forgot casting and acting are 2 different things. Yeah, OG.
Yeah, because...
Yeah, they're...
Yeah, the casting I definitely gave to...
Yeah.
We're going to get, ahead of ourselves, but I gave it to the American. So. Because the cast, if put in the Japanese setting, to me would have been perfect. I'm not even going to lie. That, So acting I gave to OG. Directing I gave to OG.
No, same.
Writing/plot I gave to OG.
Same.
Because I already explained my reasons. I don't like techno Terminator ghosts. Killers I gave to the OG.
Yeah.
Casting, remake. Soundtrack I gave to the remake because it's got that 2006, vibe.
I just gave it to remake because the OG doesn't even have a soundtrack.
No, there was a couple, moments. Gore/kills I gave to the original because
same.
Yeah. Okay. So far we're actually on pace.
Casually just hanging himself mid conversation.
Right.
Was just so
right. And then the water tower scene, and so right now we're on track, hopefully, to get our second ever full agreeance. We've only got a couple left. Pacing, I gave to the remake because I felt like it moved faster.
I swear to God, I gave it to the remake.
Time period, I gave it to OG.
I gave it to OG.
Oh my God, because the techno shit matched more with that. And then for environment, I gave it to remake because I like the colors and
it makes more sense, I guess.
So did we have a second one?
Yeah, we had another tie.
Man, fucking fantastic. Yes. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So the OG won by 4 points 12 to 8. So literally right there, it describes what we like. We like the cast of the original or of the remake. We like the soundtrack of the remake. We like the pacing of the remake and the environment of the remake. But if you throw all of that into the OG one, take out the cast and put the American one in, there's our perfect pulse.
That's right.
So that was much easier than I anticipated it to be. So, yeah, we'll just move on. Well, and see, the thing is, like, I didn't consider either film fantastic by any stretch of the means.
If we were going from like a 1 to a 5, I'd give it like a 2.
Right. And that would, for me, that would probably be both of them.
No.
Because...
That's what I meant as a series as a whole.
Right. Because I just, I didn't connect with it. I didn't vibe with it. I guess because I was one of those teenagers in 2001 where I knew better than to be like, dude, it's fucking technology. It's not going to kill you. I mean, it will kill you, but...
Maybe that's why watching it later in life, it's just like, God,
yeah, it's cringe.
We already lived it, you know what I mean? So...
And this also is the ending of the... of all of our technological horror movies as well.
Thank goodness. Holy shit.
Because the last, 3 or 4 have all been like, oh, this is what
new stuff is bad.
New stuff is bad. We must keep traditions, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Eat my dick. So we're going to go into Horror Club. And for those that don't know, this is our little discussion about horror movies that we have seen or whatever that we're just going to talk about. And for this one, it's White Noise. Release date January 7th, 2005. Runtime 1 hour and 41 minutes. Budget $10 million. Box office $91.2 million.
Holy shit.
Right. Production companies were Gold Circle Films and Bright Light Pictures. Produced by Paul Brooks. Screenplay by Neil Johnson. Directed by Jeffrey Sachs. I read it as Sex the first time.
So did I when you
Cinematography by Chris Seeger. Edited by Nick Authors. Music by Claude Foisy. Plot. Architect John Rivers is happily married to author Anna, but tragedy strikes when she is killed in an accident. Deep in grief, Jonathan hears from Raymond Price, who claims that he was intercepted messages from Anna via electronic voice phenomena, or EVP. Jonathan eventually comes to believe Raymond's claims, but as he is drawn further into his investigating the phenomena, a sinister supernatural presence invades his life. Starring Michael Keaton as Jonathan Rivers. Now, by the way, this was at one point Michael Keaton's return to film.
Yeah, after Batman.
Well, no, he did a few other movies. Like, I think Multiplicity was his last one in like 96.
Oh.
Or like 90, or was Multiplicity 94? I don't know, but that one was like pretty much his last one. And it bombed bad. And it took him out of acting until 2005. Like,
Jesus.
Yeah. So it was like a 10-year gap.
Tanked his shit.
Yeah. So Deborah Kara Unger as Sarah Tate, Chandra West as Anna Rivers, and Ian McNeice as Raymond Price. So for this movie, I actually pretty much enjoyed it.
It was okay.
I saw it in theaters when it came out, and I think maybe that was like a better experience for me because I was really excited about Michael Keaton returning to film. I was, I expected it to be cool. Right. At the time, like Ghost Hunters and Paranormal State and all those shows were like super popular. So I was like, dude, this is going to be a fucking knockout of the park. I liked it.
It was all right.
It was okay. Again,
it's a very dry-ish movie.
Right. There's not a lot of...
It's a lot of watching Michael Keaton just like
stare
use technology.
And use technology.
And just look into like one computer screen and then go, wait. Or it was kind of showing
ignoring
off
his kid.
Ignoring his kid and then like showing off whatever new tech of audio equipment you could
that he could come up with. Yeah, because he spliced things together and was able to do this and able to do that. So ultimately, through the EVPs, yes, he was contacting his wife, but he also pulled forward an evil entity, which is possible with EVPs. Like that's, So with the technology part, that was more or less, the 2000s and shit, whatever. But I did like the explanation for how she died. I liked the explanation for spoiler for almost a 20-year-old movie, how he died.
Yeah.
I did like the fucking techno demons
Yeah.
that were there.
The ending was definitely a surprise.
Because you always think that the main character is going to live.
Yeah.
And no, he fucking...
is luckily trapped in the same video with his wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And his body just laid in an empty warehouse.
Arms all broken.
Legs all broken.
Yeah.
Yep, he was just all fucked up because they fucked him up.
Yeah.
They beat the shit out of him. And I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Like, the whole movie, you're just sitting there like, man, I really wonder how this is going to end. Because, like, nothing gets revealed until, like, the last 15 minutes.
Yep.
And the fact that he was kind of falling for the other woman in between.
Yep.
And then he just, like, gets murked. All right, sorry about your luck, bud.
Yep.
But, all in all, I think I would give this a 3 out of 5. For me. Anyway.
I'd give it like a 2.5. It's just not for me.
Well, it's because I think, what is it? Because it's a very slow plotting movie.
That, and it's just, again,
more
with him
exposition.
Just staring, it's just staring and doing nothing for.
No, I get that. I like it. I think because I like the sound stuff. I like the technology part. I like all that, and I do like the fact that he gets the shit beat out of him viciously at the end. So I guess we could give it like a 2.75.
There you go.
As a all around metric score for it. So with this one, we usually do like top 5, like horror movies or top 5 this or top 5 that. But Screenrant did a top 20 most powerful horror villain of all time list. Now, here is what they said. Humanity is fascinated with monsters. We love zombies, ghosts, aliens, and humans gone bad. Due to this, there are a ton of horror movies where it is the villain that is truly the star of the show. They are as diverse as our collective fears, and each has its own set of powers and backstories. Weak monsters in horror do not exist because they would not scare us. They are all powerful beings. But who is the most powerful? In this list, we discuss 20 famous horror villain characters that rank them from least to most powerful. Horror films remain one of the favorite genres of movie fans, with viewers loving to give themselves a thrill and a possible heart attack with the jump scares and all-out gruesomeness of some of the most horrifying films out there. Of course, when it comes to horror films, there are characters that have become synonymous with the genre and who spring to mind when discussing the scariest films you've ever seen. There are so many icons of on-screen horror, but which are the strongest?
Okay.
So, I feel like this list was updated just last Halloween. So it's a very new list. It's very, whatever. But I just watched a movie today where I feel like this killer should be on the list. He literally made a pact with the devil and can't be killed.
Oh, sure.
And he has a co-killer that can't be killed either because he brought her in. So... And that movie's called Dreamcatcher, by the way, and it was done in like 2016. So, with that being said, I don't feel like this list is right from the get-go.
Okay.
Because even though that movie, Dreamcatcher, wasn't very good, the fact that the character made a fucking pact with the devil and cannot be killed...
That's pretty powerful.
That's pretty fucking powerful. Like... So... With this list, they gave reasons as to why these people are where they are. We're not going to do that because the reasons were like 3 fucking paragraphs each. Fuck that.
And I'm trying to get home.
Right, exactly. So, for number 20, they have Hannibal Lecter from the Silence of the Lambs series.
Okay.
Human, cannibal, very smart. Number 19, Annie Wilkes from Misery.
Okay. She could probably be 20, but...
Right. I don't think she's more powerful than fucking Hannibal Lecter.
Or smarter.
She tortured one guy.
Yeah, she just happened to find the dude she's obsessed with, take him to her cabin, and break his
ankles and fuck him up and torture him and, all sorts of shit. That was one person.
Yeah.
Hannibal Lecter killed a lot of fucking people. And that one scene, what was it, in Silence of the Lambs, when they fucking went into the cell and everybody was splayed open and shit? Come on. Yeah. She didn't do anything like that. I think Annie should be number 2. I don't even think she should be on the fucking list, to be honest with you. I don't know why she's on the list. Number 18, Jigsaw from the Saw franchise.
Okay, he's an old man.
I could see Jigsaw being 19 and Hannibal being 20 still.
Yeah.
When you go from that. Yeah. Because yes, he's an old man, but the way he did a bunch of shit was like fucking wild. So
he's got the powerful brainness.
Right, exactly. Number 18 or 17, Ghostface from the Scream franchise.
Yeah.
If you're gonna take Hannibal, Jigsaw, and Ghostface, at that point, Ghostface should be number 20 because he's interchangeable. There's been 10 different fucking people as Ghostface, and those people, each individual has only killed maybe 1 or 2 people. So I get it why Ghostface is number 17
because everyone can be Ghostface.
Because everybody could be Ghostface, but at that point, that makes me feel like he should be number 20. Number 16, which kind of throws me for a loop here because with the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it kind of proved that like Leatherface is more hard to kill than they thought.
Yeah.
But they have him at number 16 here. Number 15 is Michael Myers. He literally cannot be killed.
Yeah,
he is the incarnation of evil.
Yeah.
He does not belong at 15.
Yeah.
He should be in like the top fucking 5. So far, I don't agree with any of this list.
Not me either.
Not one bit. Number 14, Pazuzu from The Exorcist. They've got Pazuzu as number 14. Right. Chucky is rated higher than Pazuzu.
Okay.
Right. Now, sorry about that. It was nasty, and my apologies. Number 13 is Pinhead from the Hellraiser franchise. You're going to have Chucky, which, by the way, is number 12. Chucky is more powerful than Pinhead and fucking demon from hell.
Yeah. Whoever did this list doesn't watch horror.
Whoever did this list,
they just looked up top 20.
Right, must have been paid or something because there's no way in hell Chucky is more powerful than fucking Pinhead. Yeah. One of the top lords of hell. He's a literally voodoo possessed doll.
Yeah.
If Pinhead went against Chucky, he would fucking destroy him. Pazuzu would destroy him. This list is bad.
Yeah.
Super bad. Then you got number 11, the Creeper from the Jeeper Creeper franchise. Now, I feel like he is very powerful because he is supernatural. He is very Pennywise-esque.
True.
But, spoiler here, Pennywise is number 5. So if Pennywise is number 5, granted he's a giant space-faring being that only appears as a clown for people. Technically, it's the same story as the Creeper. Comes once every 23 years, does this, feeds on things, feeds on fear, feeds on this, kills, blah, 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 blah. So aside from being a space creature / demonic space creature, whatever, there's nothing different.
Yeah, this list sucks balls.
This list is horrible. Number 10, Freddy Krueger. Number 10, Freddy Krueger. I feel like Freddy should be in the top, like in the top 5 at least. Number 9, Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th franchise. I can be okay with that. Now, this is where things are going to get a little bit rough because number 8's Candyman from the Candyman franchise.
Okay.
I do think he's more powerful than Jason.
Not Freddy though.
But I think when it comes to him and Freddy, they would have a hell of a fight.
Yeah, that'd be a good crossover.
That'd be a better crossover than people want to admit, I think. But I don't think that he should be number 8.
Yeah.
Especially considering what's coming up. Number 7, Sadako from the Ring / Ringu franchise.
Okay, fair enough.
But
medium could be higher up.
She could definitely be in like the top 15s or whatever.
Yeah,
like
most powerful.
Because she doesn't do anything.
No.
She just curses people and they die 7 days later.
No.
And you have to watch the specific video for it to happen. If you don't watch this video, that's them coming home. Okay. If you don't watch this video, nothing's ever going to happen. Nothing's going to spread. She's not very powerful at all. Number 6, the Demon from the Annabelle / Conjuring franchise.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. Yeah. Definitely should be in the top 10, but not top 10.
Close to 1.
number 5, Pennywise, as we said earlier. I feel like should be definitely in the top 5. This is where we get a little sketchy for these two. Number 4 is the monster from It Follows.
No.
So, for those that didn't see It Follows, basically the premise is if you could have $20 million, but a snail chases you for the rest of your life, and once that snail catches you, you die. That's literally the premise of the movie.
Yeah, no.
And I'm sorry, but you can contain the snail.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you can't contain the snail. It's a fucking snail.
Put it in a box.
Right. So that shouldn't be number 4.
Yeah.
Not at all. Number 3 is the Xenomorph from the Alien franchise.
It's not powerful.
Not powerful.
Not by itself.
Not by itself.
In a horde, yeah.
In a horde, sure. Yeah. But they classify it as a horde.
Okay.
So at that point, you could say, yeah, they're definitely like the fucking from Destiny, the Thrall. Yeah, but as a powerful entity, the fucking alien queen was the most powerful of the xenomorphs, and she even got her shit wrecked. Yeah. So why are they number 3?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
That destroys me. Yeah. Number 2, Death from the Final Destination franchise.
All right, that one makes kind of sense.
That one makes sense. It's fucking death.
Yeah.
You how are you going to escape death?
Yeah. Can't beat it.
But at that point there was many other films that used death in a different manner and was way more powerful. So I get it, but now here's where I get pissed off.
Okay.
Number 1. Okay. I love this franchise. This is one of my favorite horror franchises of all time. But she should not be number 1. They have Keiko from the Grudge / Ju-On series as number 1.
Yeah, that should be up a little further.
I understand their reasoning because her curse, but again, this is as long as you see her, or as long as if you don't see her or you don't experience it, it's not gonna happen.
Right.
So why the fuck is she number 1?
True.
Why? So we're not going to do what we were originally going to do because this list has been dismantled the farther along as we went. I was going to rearrange it. I was going to do some things, but as I read it like earlier today, I just got so pissed off at it. Yeah. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me, man. It was a pretty bad list. So if you guys have anything that you would like to make your top 5, send it to us in messages or email, horrorwarspodcast@gmail.com. Horror Wars on Instagram, or even the Riffing on Horror Network on Instagram or Facebook, whatever. There's plenty of ways to reach us.
Or any of the million fucking places where you are.
Yeah, any of the million places we are. So we're getting ready to come to the end of the episode, which I believe is pretty good. We only got a little bit left. So with this, as we do with every episode, we're going to read some questions and do some answers and all that. But I also have a new Apple Podcast review that was done a few days ago. It was a 5-star review.
Nice.
And the title is Great Idea. This show has a great original concept. Love it. And I'm looking forward to hearing the next episode. Give it a try. You will enjoy.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know how to pronounce the name, but it looks like it's Remcutsi because it's REMCCUTC. So thank you for
the kind words.
The 5-star and the kind words. We do have questions today. We have 5 questions today. So, and they're all pretty relatively easy. We have one question from Amber Brooke. Do you prefer paranormal movies, slashers, or gore fests?
I like the paranormal because it gets the heart going, but gore fests are like right underneath. But paranormal, then gore fest, and then slashers.
Right. So, I mean, but some slashers are definitely gore fests.
True.
And some slashers are gore fest paranormal.
Yeah. But if I were to just go by those categories,
it would be paranormal, then gore fest, then slashers.
Yep.
Okay. So for me, I would prefer the gore fests because in most gore fests there's some pretty good comedy. True. And as I've mentioned before, I love fantastically outrageous gore fests with good comedy. I find them to be my You know how there's always that commercial of the white girl standing and looking in the door, and she sees this beautiful area outside, and she's holding a cup of coffee or a cup of tea with like her one hand underneath and her other hand on the handle, and she's like happy. That's me. That's extreme gore with comedy. There you go. The other question from Amber Brook is, who is your favorite on-screen killer?
That is tough.
That is very tough. That is super tough. And that's why I gave you this early. So, I think I can honestly say my favorite on-screen killer, when you want to talk about a personality, I understand Freddy is a lot of people's, and I at one point would have said Freddy because I was a huge Freddy fan. He was like my favorite and everything. But I've really come to love Chucky.
Okay.
Over the last like maybe 3 or 4 years. I'm not going to say his movies are better.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say Freddy's movies are better. Both of their franchises kind of suck. There was only like 1, 3, 4, and 7 in Freddy's franchises that were good. Yeah, and then Chucky, like, he had a couple good movies, then a couple bad movies, then a couple decent movies, and now an awesome TV series. So it's like...
I think mine would honestly be Jason. Just because he was always kind of just the silent shit brick shit house, whatever.
Yeah.
Just a stalking dude, and then whenever someone did anything, just a head tilt. And then chopping your fucking head off. Or punching it off.
Or throwing you against a tray in a sleeping bag.
Right.
Or, having a sexy high school student come on to you and then destroy her.
And in not the sexual way, in the destroy her
physically. Oh, yeah, physically destroy her. And that still can be considered sexual.
Sure.
So, but yeah, okay, so Chucky for me and Jason for Josh. Now we have another horror movie brethren podcast here. Their name is Horror Podcast Movie Reviews.
Okay.
And
Shout outs
on Instagram. I've actually developed a pretty decent relationship with them. They're two brothers that do horror movie reviews. So they're pretty good at what they do. Their last episode was Dead Alive / Brain Dead. So definitely go check them out. But they wrote, is there a horror movie you really thought was going to be great but was extremely disappointing? To that, I will say I've got about 20 or more. But do you have one that immediately comes to mind? Because I do. I have one that immediately
comes. You go ahead. I know I have one.
And poor Josh he had to live through this because I kept repeating myself over and over and over again. But in 2016, myself, Josh, and our friend Brandon Moore.
Oh yeah,
went to go see Blair Witch.
Yeah, that.
My God, it looked so fucking awesome on the commercials and all the stuff online and the YouTube videos, and oh my God, it was going to be so great. And then it turned out to be Grave Encounters.
I'm going to say I have the exact same answer. As soon as you said that shit, I was like, it's so bad I forgot it fucking existed.
Like, it was, and I said this that night, at least 40 times, because I couldn't believe that it was so blatantly ripped off.
We even did a review of it.
We did a review of it in the car. Yeah, and right after the movie was done. And in that review, you can hear me say it at least 20 times. I was pissed. Yep. And I know that they got tired of hearing it, and I know that it was whatever. But for me, being such a big fan of Grave Encounters, which at that point had come out 6 years before that, 7 years before that.
Long time.
And then for them to blatantly rip off so much of that movie in Blair Witch, I was like, you fucking cucks. You pieces of shit, you blue waffle eating motherfuckers. But at least we got to see the Blair Witch.
Which was cool, but it just felt like they could have just changed the demon and said Grave Encounters 500 or whatever the fuck.
Right. It pissed me off.
Yeah.
It still pisses me off to this fucking day.
I forgot about it until today.
Right.
That's how bad it was.
So thank you, Horror Podcast Movie Reviews, for asking that question, because as soon as they asked it earlier today, I was like, fucking Blair Witch. Yep. Fucking Blair Witch. That's it. The Blair Witch. Fuck that movie. So we have this, I believe, is actually Patter Monkey's last question.
Okay.
Because we went through all of them. He had 6 or 7. His is, what are the best / worst family or kid-friendly horror films. For example, you have creepy stuff like Turkey Hollow that's supposed to be a family film, but it's just really creepy. And then you have stuff that's sci-fi or fantasy like The Labyrinth, but it could also be considered a family film depending on how you look at it. So, I mean, I think the thing that everybody takes away from The Labyrinth is the cod piece of David Bowie, for one. But I don't really know of any movies that are supposed to be family-friendly horror.
I got one.
What's that?
Coraline.
Coraline? Paranorman? Okay. So, okay, I guess we could say, like, I mean, even that fucking, I don't remember what the name of it is now, but it was a Thomas Edison or something, and it was claymation. And it had, like, Satan, and he was talking about how he can build and rebuild, and that part was ridiculously fucking creepy. I don't remember the name of it right now, but it was horrifying. Like, even as an adult,
right.
Like, the way the clay moves and the way everything's done, it was goddamn creepy. You have another one?
I wrote down just a couple. I'm just going to read them off.
Okay.
Besides Coraline, we got Sweeney Todd.
Okay.
Goosebumps. That's a good way to get into it. The Goosebumps movies from the old times. Frankenweenie.
Frankenweenie was cute.
Ghostbusters.
Vincent.
And one that just recently, I don't know if it's a remake or a part 2 or whatever, Dark Crystal.
It's a TV series.
Like,
yeah, it was, and they canceled it after the first season.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So Dark Crystal is another one, and that's the thing. Those are movies that some kids could find horrifying,
right?
But are meant to be family films. Like shit, you could even put Honey, I Shrunk the Kids as one of those because the fucking ant scene and all that shit. Like
even Flubber.
Even Flubber could be considered like horror to some kids. So you really don't. I guess
whatever they see as horror,
but it's also whatever you feel comfortable showing them. I think because horror is interpreted by the person. Yeah. I can go outside and see somebody in a fucking tank top cut off shirt with like the white arms and the red arms or whatever and be like, oh, that's horrifying.
True.
So it depends on what you find horrifying or what you find scary. And you're not going to know what a kid finds scary until you actually present it to a child.
Right.
Because Abu could be considered scary to some kids. You know, it's just a fucking cartoon monkey. But some kid will probably see that and be like, oh my God, that's horrifying. I don't know. So I hope that answered your question, Powder Monkey. And the final question is from Joshua Graves. And it's a very simple question. And it's, why the fuck are y'all so awesome?
Because of our listeners that let us continue to do this.
Yeah. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
So thank you, Josh.
And you're also awesome.
You're also fucking awesome. And you're raising your baby right. So, yeah.
Sorry for the lack of energy, folks. I am fucking drained.
Yeah, this was Josh's first day at Workadoo. And, you know, he did very good today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, thank you, everybody, for listening to
Horror Wars.
Brought to you by
enough energy for that.
Right. Brought to you by the Riffing on Horror Network. And we will see you again in 2 weeks with episode 19. And I'm Rob.
I'm Josh.
And goodbye, everybody.
Everybody.
Now, we do have a new slogan. The Riffing on Horror Network
keyword.
has a new slogan. It is, we're keeping it classy with a dash of slashy. I love it. I'm sorry.
It's cute. It's cute.
So, okay, everybody. We'll see you guys
Bye,
in a couple weeks. Love you. Bye.